Well, good morning, stamping friends. How are you all today? Happy Friday. And I see that I have an olive oil hairstyle going today. Sorry about that. Can you tell I haven't washed my hair? Oh, well, it's one of those days. But I just want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. If you haven't visited before, my name is Lorri Heiling, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm excited to share with you a Halloween project. This I'm actually making for my grandkids, so I thought I'm just going to do a little make and take video here for you so that you can maybe be inspired and maybe make something similar for the people in your life. But before we start the project, I want to remind you that my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack RSVP deadline is coming to a close. I know it's a little bit early, but I really want to make sure I get the product because I don't want anything to go back order. So I'm a little ahead of the game. Normally I don't do this until mid-November, but I just want to remind you that. And there's a little brochure explaining it with all of the product that you get. You get designer series paper, a stamp set, jewels, ribbon, and then there's an optional add-on of dies if you'd like. And I've discounted the products and threw in the 12 projects that we'll make. It's 4 designs, 3 of each. So I hope that you'll consider that. I will put the links in my blog and on my Facebook page. And just remember the deadline is Monday, and I don't do a video until Tuesday again. So this is really your last reminder. So thank you for considering that, and for those of you who have already signed up. All right, let me turn my camera around and I will share with you my Halloween project. Today's treat features a Halloween treat box that I'm doing for my grandkids, and the reason I shifted gears this year is because my grandkids get so much candy for Halloween, and we just came off of a week of birthdays, so they got even more candy then. So I'm trying to change it up and just do something a little bit different. So this is what I came up with. First, I'll show you the products that I'm using. I'm using these cute little treat box sets, and you get 8 in a pack. Oh, that's just enough. I need 8 and I have 1 pack left. And they're called Tombstone Treat Boxes. And don't think it's too late in the season. If you order them this week, you will still have plenty of time to make these. And the stamp set that I'm going to use and the dies are frightfully cute. This is bundled if you want the dies, excuse me, and the stamp set. I played a lot with that set this season, and so I'm going to use those again. So let's get started. And the first thing that I want to show you is that when you get your Tombstone treat boxes, they look almost identical. And I just opened this pack, and you can see that the back stack is a little bit taller. So this is going to be the larger box by just a little bit, and the smaller one is going to be the smaller box that we are going to use to put the treats in. Now, I've played around with this, and I've tried putting the treats in both boxes. You'll see what I mean when I get to the treat part. But for now, I just want to show you how to assemble the boxes, and just make sure you take a back and a front. And like I said, they're different sizes, so you can see that when they're standing next to each other. All you're really going to do is fold on all the score lines. And I'm using the smaller box now. And for this particular project, you want the smaller box to be the bottom. It seems like it should be opposite, but because of the treats that I told you about, it's going to work better in the smaller box. And then you might need a pick tool to get the adhesive piece up. And these really come together fast and easy, and all there is one little piece of tape on each side to hold the sides down. So we're going to go like that. And this, like I said, is where the treat is going to go. Now for the other one, we are going to die cut this. So you want to die cut the larger one. You also want to make sure that, do you see this is the top of the Tombstone? When you put the die through the machine, and I use the one from Seasonal Labels, and we're going to make a little window here. Now, you can't go too close to the top, because if you cross this line, there's a little score line over here on these sides. If you cross that line, look what happens when you die cut it. It is going to die cut into part of the box. Ask me how I know this. I did that once. Pretty much ruined the box. So you want to make sure the die is below that line right there. So I'm going to die cut about right here, and then I will be back and we will finish the project. All right, so I die cut the top of this, and this is where we are going to add a window sheet. Now, I cut the window sheet 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, probably hard to see. So before we assemble our box, we are going to place this right on here, and what I'm going to do is put some glue dots there. Actually, I guess glue dots will work. I was thinking I was going to use my Stampin' Seal, but it's going to be really close to the edge. So what I'm going to do is just put them in 4 corners, and glue dots, well, you could use snail, or not snail, but you could use your Stampin' Seal if you'd like, but it may be hard on these edges because I think the tape is a little bit wider than this little piece here. So you might be better off just doing glue dots. All right, last corner here, and this is going to keep our treats inside so they don't fall out. All right, then just set this right in the middle, and then we will assemble the box. All right, remember this is the larger one. So we're going to do the same thing, just fold on all the score lines. And I love boxes when you don't have to work too hard to assemble them. Take that adhesive off the sides. What are you all doing for Halloween? Do you stay home and hand out treats, or do you trick or treat with people? We go with our grandkids now, and they have a really fun neighborhood. It's a smaller neighborhood, and it's just a great way for them to connect with the neighborhood and the families there. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, then just fold them up so the adhesive grabs the inside of the box. And there is our front. Now, see how it slides on and fits nice and snug like that. All right, let's fill this with some goodies now. What we're gonna do is, I got some Hershey Nuggets. These are fun to work with. I heard in Canada they don't have these. I feel for you because I use these a lot in projects. And we are gonna take Cashola. Cash speaks with my grandkids now. They've discovered the dollar store. So rather than giving them a bag full of candy, or I've even done baked treats, they just aren't into that so much. So I am going to show you how I fold my dollar bill and make my own little wraps for these. So you're going to take, I don't know if you want to use hundreds or 50s. I have 8 of these to make, so I'm only using dollar bills. But your end result is you're going to want about a 1 inch by 3 inch rectangle. So I'm just going to fold both sides in towards the center, and you can have whatever side you want on top. I decided to put Washington on top. So we'll go like that. That's about a 1 inch width. And then just kind of fold these towards the center. It's maybe like 1.5 inches that way. It doesn't have to be perfect. I started out using actually my scoreboard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Lori, it's not that important. You don't need to score it. These little grandkids are not gonna see where I put my score lines. Now just stick the, let me get my tape here. You're gonna also want Scotch tape right here because we don't want it sticky on both sides, and we don't want to tear the money when they take it apart. So just set your Hershey's nugget upside down, and then let me tear off. Don't tear too much. You only want it about 1 inch wide. And then just wrap this around the Hershey nugget like that. And then just one piece of tape down the seam is going to hold it. So now I'm going to show you how I place them in the box. What I did first was I stuck some black shred in there. You may have orange, white, black, whatever Halloween color you want. And let me get some of my done ones. I did this so it wouldn't take so long on the video. So the way you arrange this, now remember, this is the smaller side that does not, that does not have the window sheet in. This box is a little bit smaller than this one. And the way we're gonna arrange them is we're gonna put Washington with his head, doesn't really matter, but I'll show you the arrangement where it fits the snuggest. And the little crinkle paper in there helps fill the gap so it doesn't move around too much in the box. So we're gonna go right like that. That's the best way to arrange them. And then we're just gonna slip this on top, and now there's some added fun because they can see through it and they can see what they're getting. Now let's just decorate the top of the box a little bit. Let's decorate the front of this box. Now I want to show you another little trick that I learned. I'm kind of winging it as I go. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and when I finally decided, because I've assembled the box already, now I can't stamp on it. However, there's little tricks to everything. What I'm going to do is take 2 of my acrylic blocks, and because if I stamp on this, it's going to bend the box. So what I'm going to do is make this my kind of my flat surface, and that way I can stamp on here without disassembling the box, because sometimes that ruins it when you take it apart. Then I'm going to take my Stampin' Up marker. This is basic black, and I know I've told you this before, but if you haven't seen my previous videos, you know we have our blends and we have black in the blends as well. However, if you want to color on red rubber, you cannot use blends on that because it dries too fast. I've tried it before. If you color on your marker, or I mean, if you color on your red rubber and then stamp it, it's dried by the time you get it to paper. So that's why Stampin' Up markers are still a good thing to purchase. And so we are going to put a little spider on here by coloring on the rubber. The stamp that I'm going to use is this cute little spider. However, I want the spider hanging lower on the tombstone, and that line doesn't go long enough. And so for me to continue that line, I don't want to do that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take off the brush end. Remember, there's a thicker line here. That means that's the brush end, and the thinner line is means it's more of the journaling and a finer tip. So let's take the brush end, and all we're going to do is color in just the spider. So just go ahead and color right on your rubber. And make sure you get all of the spots, his little legs. And we're really just after the legs there. We're going to cover up the middle body, but I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So let's stamp on here, and it should go okay because I have already put these blocks in here. And we will just stamp like that. And if you know what, if you want to just make the spider like that, you may want to color him in darker, but I'm going to be covering him up anyway. Like I said, all I wanted were his little legs down there. Now what we're going to do is I have these matte black dots, and what I'm going to do is take, there's two sizes. I'm going to take the smaller size, and that's going to be his head, and then the larger one is going to be his body. It's going to go right behind. And before I do that though, I just remembered, I need to make the line. Now, I could take a ruler and make this perfect, but I am going to make it a little bit jiggly because I'm almost positive that when a spider goes down his little string, it's probably not perfectly straight. There's a little jiggle in it. All right, so we need to make a web first though. So what I did was I took some black glitter paper that we have, and this paper is so awesome, and I can see that I did not poke out all the holes yet. So sometimes all the holes don't come out, so just poke them out with your paper piercer, and no wonder it looked funny. I kept going, where's the center of this? So let's get those holes out. All right, now clean up my mess. Okay, now it looks more like a spider web. All right, so I want this to go up here. So I am going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue, and that's what I'm going to use to glue this down. All right, so I'm going to have it going off the page, but I'm going to fix that in a little bit. I'm just going to put one in the center here, I think, because let me place that about right here. All right, now I'm not liking that it goes over the edge, so what I'm going to do is flip it over and grab my paper snips and I'm just going to trim so it matches the edge of the tombstone, a little bit there and just a tiny bit on top, and just follow the curve around. All right, now the next thing I want to do is draw the line of the spider web with my Stampin' Up marker with the journaling edge. And like I said, I want it to be squiggly. Otherwise, you can use a ruler and make a straight line, but I want it to be just kind of free-handed. So I think I'll start down and just work my way up, making it squiggly on purpose. And just, it doesn't matter where it lands, just so it's underneath the web, make it go all the way up. All right, now we can put his body on. The reason I didn't put the body on is because I wanted to make sure I got that line going from the back of him. So there's the spider web. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is put the sentiment on the bottom, and I chose Happy Halloween. This one I did do beforehand just so I could save in some of the time. And we're gonna put this at the bottom and dress it up a little bit. We gotta have a sentiment on there. Then the last part is just assembling it together. Let's get the bottom and put the top on. And then I do want to tie it because some of these will be put in the mail. And so I'm going to take our black glittered ribbon, it's an organdy ribbon, and wrap this around. Also, if you prefer the black and white gingham, that's pretty as well. But I'm trying to get the shimmer in here and go with the shimmer theme. So let's just tie that in a bow and make the ends long enough so that if they untie it, you know, they can retie it again. Of course, my grandkids will totally rip into this. They don't sit and stare at it and say, oh, look at how cute, look at the detail on this. They just rip it open, and they'll probably be after that money in there. I'm just kidding. They appreciate handmade. But anyway, isn't that cute? And then, like I said, hopefully they'll see there's chocolate in there and money, and you can't go wrong with that combination. So I hope you enjoyed this little treat box that I made. And if you see any products that interest you, please order from my online store and use that host code. The advantage of doing that is you will receive my Creative You projects, and I'm working on my November ones. So if you order by November 10th, you will get in on 3 free projects. The order just has to be over $35 before tax and shipping. And remember to use the host code, and then I will send you the kit for the 3 projects for free. And you'll also get the PDF instructions on how to put them together. So thank you again for watching. I hope you get all your Halloween projects, and maybe I inspired you for something just a little bit different for a gift for maybe your friends or your kids or your grandkids. All right, we will see you next time at 9 a.m. Arizona time. I do my videos on Tuesday and Friday mornings. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to add a little bit more. I finished all my treats, and I just wanted to show you a couple different things that I did. I went ahead and added a little, just a computerized sentiment so that I could personalize these a little bit more. And then I played around with some different ribbon too. This one kind of looks spider webby, don't you think? This is probably my favorite one. And then I did stick a spider in there as well, just to sit on top by the money. So I'll just show you a lot of different versions I have. I put the photo on too. There's our gingham and more spider web. This is a retired one, but I just grabbed any black and white that I had just to change it up a little bit. So anyway, I just wanted to show you my finished products, and I'm going to get these in the mail now. So thank you again for joining me. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.